Good morning. Now you can hear me. I forgot we didn't have an opening song anymore, so I just was chatting away back there. So whoever you are, wherever you are, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown, where such is the nature of life that all it asks, that all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You're that opportunity, so am I. Sometimes that life appears in me as a little scattered and crazy, and this morning I'm running around like a chicken because I got lots of things happening I'm excited about. So just bear with me today. So glad you're here. We are a place that honors people, everyone, because we understand and know who you are. We know that you are an expression of the divine. We know that your individual version of the divine is that which drives you. It's that which is the result of your choices, your life choices, your experiential choices, the things you decide to do on your everyday living and everyday life. It's not some special poof, and you're suddenly magically an expression of the divine. It's just the ordinary everydayness of life moving through you. And the more conscious and intentional we become about that, the more powerful we are in bringing that divine power, that divine knowing through us. So that's who we are. That's a little about who we are. There's a lot more. We're going to talk a lot more today about that. Right now, I would like to share with you our Declaration of Principles. This is an excerpt. And listen as we hear from our practitioners and board members. I believe
in one God,
one absolute power and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love
and creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life
and the immortality of the individual soul,
forever unfolding.
I believe
in the eternal goodness,
the eternal goodness of God,
the eternal loving kindness,
and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. You can find a lot more information on our website for those at home watching online or looking on your computer. For those who are here in the room, same thing. You can find it on YouTube, Facebook. You can find connections to our website. So I invite you now, if you're in the room, to please share that you're here. To if you're a Facebook person, share where you are and what's happening, and see how many more people we can get excited about Center for Spiritual Living Midtown today. So that said, let me invite you to understand a little more about who we are. One of the things that is vital and central to this center, its life, its operation, are our practitioners. Practitioners are folks who are trained in the philosophy of science of mind and new thought, and are not just trained in knowing about it, but are trained of actually putting it to use in their lives. They're doing this with ease, with grace, and they are doing it in a way that allows them also then to demonstrate that they can help others in living more freely, abundantly, healthily, and clearly. And as they do that and prove that, then CSL, our organization we're all part of, will provide them with a license that says, we know you can do this, you're licensed to do this for other folks. So if you have anything in your life that just isn't quite working, that you'd love to see work a little better, or something that just doesn't work at all, that you feel like you're much too close to, or are much too involved in the story to get above and beyond the story to see the greater truth, a great way to solve that is to contact one of our practitioners. You'll find them on the internet. You can put in a request there for a practitioner. You can also simply put in a request for healing, for the change of whatever it is that's going on that you would like to see different. And we will do that work for you privately, secretly, and then we will also put you in touch with the practitioner if you request that. So plan on that, look at that, think about it. But right now, we have a wonderful practitioner here with us who is one of the solid people right here in this part of CSL Midtown, and has been for longer than I have. She she's one of those folks that when I wonder about or feel myself wobbling a little bit on what is truth and what is principle, she's one of those people to call, because she always reminds me there are no victims, there is only victory, and there's only possibility of living freely. She works not only with our center as a practitioner, she does other work that I don't even begin to understand, but some of what she does has been very influential in our state government in terms of legislative options and things that bring greater health to people. That's a big part of her life and a big part of what she brings to the world. So with that, and she does that without a lot of fanfare, a lot of big noise about it. The limo doesn't drop her off here. She takes care of her life in other ways. So I just can't praise her enough for the good things that she does for us. So Barbara Guillory, come talk to us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Oh my. Thank you for that warm welcome, Dr. Bob. I feel so affirmed this morning. And that is why I'm just glad to be on this journey with CSL Midtown for the past 11 years. And congratulations to you, Dr. Bob, on your 5-year anniversary. What a journey that has been. And of course, this community that you have built is a very affirming community, and why I continue to be here just for that. Good morning, everyone. Wonderful to see everybody. What a feast that we've got laid out. I cannot wait. Everything just looking so yum, yum. So the title is The Inner and the Outer Journey that Dr. Bob is going to be taking us on this morning. So my question, where has your journey led you? It's often said life is a journey. So has the journey led you to experience life as happiness, joy, health, wealth, creativity, love, peace? Or has there been a journey that is sadness, sorrow, suffering, overwhelm, disappointment? Or has it been a mixture of both? And I can say I have experienced all of those journeys in my own life. But it has been through relationship. As you guys know, I'm a relationship-oriented person versus a task-oriented person. So it's been a way that I have been able to learn who I am, understand more of who I am, but it is in relationship to life, in relationship to the universe, in relationship to family, in relationship to community. It is in relationship. And again, everyone has to pick their own journey. So this has been my journey. And through my journey, I have learned the awareness of not just my worldly journey, my physical journey, but also my spiritual journey. And it was through this teaching, the Science of Mind teaching, that said there is a world above as it is below. In this teaching, one of the hardest lessons for me was, if you see the problem is yours. Can't be. I'm not doing this to myself. There is no way I would make myself the victim. That would not be me. And again, that has been my ministry, understanding how I was making myself the victim and then blaming other circumstances, other people in my life. And again, this is in relationship too. So through this teaching, through the classes, and thank you, Dr. Bob, for your teaching, I'm able to understand more that the problem is not necessarily the thing itself that causes me to feel that victim, but more my perception of the problem. If I'm able to change it, spill milk, we clean it. If not, there's a lesson learned. And of course, the perception that I have of the event that is taking place is what will determine what my journey will be, a victim or not. So this is the teaching that has created the awareness, the awareness, the awareness. That is what I credit this journey here on the Science of Mind journey. One of those insights was the boundaries of my journey. So when I journey outside the boundaries of my journey, then I'm no longer on my journey. Well, guys, you pretty much know what happens when you're determined you're going to do other than what you're called to do. And again, we all have that calling inside, so we can know this without question. But through this insight, I learned that that journey is going to cause me frustration. That journey is what causes my overwhelm, my being disappointed, my state of confusion, my chaos, my overwhelm, no direction, indecisiveness. And again, it is this mental formation that I have created that creates my journey within this world, within this universe. So through this teaching, here's what I've learned. When I journey outside the boundaries of my journey, I don't have fulfillment. I've been able to identify my journey. I've been able to get answers to the questions that I have on my journey. I've been able to come to solutions to the problems that I have on my journey. I've experienced fulfillment, closure. So I ask, where has your journey led you? So now we're going to do a wonderful experience and bring peace to our journey. So I ask that you join me in this very moment as we center ourselves and know and understand there is just the one magnificent, the one universe, the oneness and the oneness. And as we create the experience of peace as co-creators with Spirit, there can only be peace in the present moment. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, 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 peace. Peace, peace, and peace. For this wonderful experience of peace, I am grateful to be on this journey with each and every one of you. And so it is.
Something great is happening. Love has taken hold and it won't let go of us now.
Something here is calling us forward, upward motion with drops in one ocean. Roll on.
Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Oh, 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 oh.
Every day's a chance you can do something amazing to feel your passion blazing and shine.
Paint with every vision, dance in new directions, explode to new heights in your mind.
I will rise up with you today.
Lift up my voice.
Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Yeah. One dream, one voice, one heart, one word, one dream, one voice, one heart, one word.
Stand together.
One dream, one voice, one heart, one word. Stand together. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Yeah, yeah. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Stand together.
Live the dream.
Be the ones who can make a share your gifts.
Stand together now.
Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Stand together.
Live the dream. Be the hope.
We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's
Stand together now.
stand together.
If you ever wondered about there being one mind, just had the perfect demonstration of one mind. We didn't plan it. It just showed up that way. A lot of echo here. And what showed up is I didn't know Barbara's plan for her treatment. I loved it because it just is so much of what we need today. With all the chaos going on out there in the world, peace. Peace that bubbles up from inside of us. Peace that's the gift of life. That's the gift of consciousness. That's the gift of God. That peace just permeates once we get clear about it. But she didn't know the symbol we were going to use for the song or what was happening. So when she finished, there it was, peace, which is there are many examples in life of where things that are often considered negative or worse than are taken over by new thought thinkers and by others who are all about life being different and greater. And this used to be the victory sign. In the earlier generations, my generation, and maybe before me, I'm not sure. I just know that when I first saw it, I was in those great hippie days of us all being wild and crazy and breaking the rules. And it was peace. So it converted from victory, which would imply power over, into peace. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So my talk today is all about our inner and outer journey. And love the way you laid the groundwork for that, Barbara. Thank you. Save me having to say some things I now don't have to say. So if you don't know what she said, go back and listen to it. It's there. All about being clear about the parameters of your journey, deciding where you're going and what's happening and who you are and how to be in the world. A wonderful idea. The journey is moving through life. The journey is from now until whatever's at the other end, whether that means a journey to the grave or a journey to the transfiguration, and you rise above all of that. I don't know many people that pull that off. But the idea that it's a journey from here to there, and we get to choose and we get to direct how that journey is going to be and where it's going to go and what it's going to do. We get to choose the quality of our lives. We get to choose the feeling of our lives by choosing what we believe about life, about who we are and where we are. And today, talking about the two components of that, which are the inner journey and the outer journey. The inner life and the outer life. If I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times in this teaching and from many teachers in many places and many people, that the first law of life is the law of growth. So that's an element, whether we like it or not, that this journey is going to have. It's going to carry forward with ease, with freedom, and with grace. Now, we can choose to grow toward greater living, greater life, greater freedom, or we can choose to grow toward more limitation, lack, and just finally giving up. You know, they used to say the one thing that's absolutely certain is death and taxes. And I added to that, and then they throw dirt in your face. But that's sort of not true anymore because nobody, people have done with their remains and all sorts of things. But life just has its way of constantly pushing through us, demanding more and greater. And it's going to be more and greater of a sense of livingness or more and greater of a sense of doomsdayness. And if you notice lately in the news and on YouTube and all those Facebooks and all those other places, we're getting a lot more doomsday stuff. And there's a lot of doomsday happening to people. A lot of change going on in the world. And the thing about change is people are afraid of it because we're afraid we'll lose the good stuff and only have the bad stuff left. But the truth is, it's up to us. I love that song because that song says, what are we creating? What kind of world do we want to live in? How are we contributing? And I'll tell you what, all you got to do is change your mind about one thing. Change it from a negative, limited thinking to a more positive, open, living life thinking to bring about change, to make that inner world be different. The last few days we've been hit with a whole lot of stuff of people shooting each other, of people losing their cool, for lack of a better word to say, and still, the shootings here in Atlanta, the shooting in Texas. Every time you turn the news on lately, it seems somebody's getting shot. Well, there was a great master teacher a long time ago that said, "Thou shalt not kill." But he took "thou shalt not kill" to another level and said, "Thou shalt not kill with your thoughts, with your anger, with your rage." See, if we can change it here at the inner level, reduce our resentments, reduce our anger, reduce our sense of victimhood, we'll change it out there as well. But it's got to start here. We got to find other ways to teach each other to handle those angers, those hurts, those feelings of victimhood. And as we change in here, we shift things out there. That's what this center is, in many ways, is all about. Listen to what we say. We are a strong, open, globally connected community centered on the clarity of principle. Global connected. I don't know if you noticed on the screen earlier, but we had a greeting from Spain. We had a couple of greetings from Pennsylvania. We had a greeting from right here in the room even. That's the beauty of where we are now in life, that people can speak up and say hello from wherever they're hearing my voice or hearing this experience, sharing this experience. It's a wonderful thing, globally connected. We're part of a network of centers and churches and an organization that is worldwide. We are part of CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living. We are part of that center or that organization here in Atlanta, but it spreads throughout the world. One of the places where we're growing the fastest in CSL is Latin America, South America. Big centers down there that are exploding. We can't train ministers fast enough to fill them out, to keep them going, to keep it all out there. They're doing beautiful work online and otherwise. If you speak Spanish, tune into one. You can find them. We have a conference down there now called the Conference of the Americas that is just amazing. It's a rich, wonderful experience where people come from all over Latin America and get together to share these kinds of conversations and to have an opportunity to be with others of like mind from all around the world, all around that part of the world. We have centers in Europe. We have centers in Russia. We have centers in Ukraine. We have centers in Canada. I almost said Canada. No. We have centers in the Orient, in Hong Kong, and in India. We used to have a school in India. It may still be there, but the minister that affiliated with us, I'm not sure is still, I know he's not still alive. He was a wonderful person. So this is a worldwide connection. Now, there are many other groups. This is just one group. There are a lot of people teaching science of mind in New Thought groups that are not us, but they are us because we teach the same stuff. But organizationally, we're different, and they're all over the world as well. So if you start thinking of this organization or this teaching or this center as some small little group, depending on the number of people that show up, know that that's just the tiniest little part of what we're part of. We're part of a network of people who are having a different thought, a different idea, who are changing our innards in order to change the outward world as well. People who stand up, people who go to the legislature and committees and try to get things organized in a different way to be more supportive of people. Folks who march for peace, folks who march for the rights of women, the rights of non-gender specific folks, and all of those things. People are doing all this, many of whom are getting their inner work through Centers for Spiritual Living and other New Thought organizations. We're not here just to feel good about ourselves. We're here to feel good about ourselves and make a difference. The thing is, if you're feeling good about yourself, you can't help but make a difference. Have you ever been in the grocery store line behind somebody that wasn't feeling good about themselves? They made a difference. Have you ever been behind one where somebody really did feel good about themselves? You just can tell they love what they're doing. They find great joy in just where they work and how they get to show up. They make you feel better just by talking to them. Some of you do that already out there in the world. We make a difference wherever we are. So we go on to say we're globally connected, centered in the clarity of principle. By clarity of principle, I think we're talking about the idea of oneness. There is only one power, one light, one life, and everything that exists and is comes out of that and lives back into it. Comes out of it not in the sense of separating from it, but out of it in the sense of forming within it, is probably a better way to say it. We are formed within this one power. We are concentrated foci of energy and information, where our personalities get to monitor and to guide and direct how that energy of life flows through us. Think about that a minute. You're in charge of your life. I don't know about you, but there have been times in my life where I didn't want to be. Somebody please take over this thing and tell me what to do. Right? But you know, the answers are always right at hand. That great master teacher said it first, or maybe not first, but he said it a long time ago. The kingdom of God is at hand. The God presence, the God power, the God goodness, whether you call it God or life or spirit or whatever, universe, it's at hand. It not only is as close as your hand, it is your hand. It is the mind with which you think, move, and have your being. Yeah. So we are part of that center. We are part of that larger teaching of the principles of oneness. You know, it sounds kind of, well, yeah, everybody is about oneness, is one power, But that is a radical departure from the way most people in the world think. The percentage is much higher now for oneness thinkers, but we are not the majority yet. If we were, the world would be a very different looking place. Because to really understand that, we get that there is no other. There is no one outside of us, not even people who belong to the other political party. Not even the Proud Boys. Now, that may be hard for some of us. No question about that. It takes some big loving to love on those people we see as dangerous, as hurtful, as harmful to us and to our way of life, if that's how you think and what you feel. But the truth is, everyone on the planet is just trying to find a way to express love the best they know. And sometimes that means they have to push everything aside except a certain little path where love can happen. When the truth is, love is showing up all over the place with all kinds of folk. And those of us who know that, who recognize the oneness, have to see past the behaviors of people into their hearts and into their truth and exercise the ancient namaste. The spirit in me recognizes the spirit in you. Because the more we do that, the more that spirit will show up in their lives as their lives. The more it will make a difference for them. If you don't ever do anything else for the world except walk around thinking and say namaste to every person you meet, do that. It will change the world. It's really important to get clear on who we are and the power that we have as individuals. We have the power not only to change our lives, but to change the world through how we think, inner journey, and what we do, outer journey. The important piece here is where you start. You start in here. You start with the inner journey. You start with changing your beliefs. Then if you're so led and so called to stand up for something, go do it. in whatever areas of influence you have. You know, we have artists in here that produce beautiful paintings that touch people. We have cooks here that touch my heart on a regular basis when they bring food. You know, we have so many ways that we make a difference in people's lives. Find your gifts, the things you care about, and love them and love yourself from the inside, and they will find places and ways to be expressed on the outside. No doubt about it. So, through teaching, service, and practice. Love the teaching part. That's a big part of my job. Love the practice part, because I can't preach what I don't practice. I can't teach what I haven't practiced. That was what last month was all about, was talking about various ways in which we practice the principles of this teaching. You notice I skipped over the service part. Well, I'm lazy sometimes. Maybe you are too. Because when I hear the word service, all I think is, oh dear, he's about to ask for money. Oh dear, they want me to do something. Probably something I don't want to do. Probably something that's going to cause me more pain and difficulty. The service we practice is a service of love and passion and compassion. Not because there's some drudgery to it, not because we have to make ourselves do it, but because there's joy in it for us to do that. I love showing up here. I love speaking to you and listening to you and hearing about where things are in your lives. That's service, but there's nothing hard about that. That's just joyful. Hey, and I've even been known to set up a chair or two and make coffee and do some of those things, because those things allow us to be together in a different way, and it's rich and wonderful. So we as a community have declared this is our truth. This is what we do. Teach, service, practice. And in doing that, we create a safe and respectful environment that supports healthy spiritual growth. It's a beautiful phrasing of our intentions and desires. I didn't write it. This came from our predecessor, perhaps our founder, I'm not sure, David Barrett, who started this center 11 years ago. He was here until he wasn't. There's a lot of sadness about that for many, many people, a lot of pain. And then Paul Gagnier took over, having come out of retirement, maybe for the second time at least. And, we ministers can't retire. We pretend to. I'm retired, even though I'm working full-time here. I retired from the School of Spiritual Leadership and the Holmes Institute for Consciousness Studies, where I ran all of that program, but didn't mean I stopped ministry. I'll stop ministry on this planet when I stop breathing, and then I'll still be haunting y'all from somewhere else, I promise. Because I ain't giving that up. Just count on it. You're too important. You carry a version of this teaching that is too important to let go in any way, shape, or form. Now, here comes the hard part of the conversation. That said, starting this month, today actually, we are only meeting in person once a month. We're going to meet on the first Sunday. We're going to have food. We're going to have a party. We're going to have a workshop. We're going to do something, all part of that Sunday gathering. And the other weeks, we'll still gather, but we're going to gather online. You can watch us on all those different places you're watching us now, those who aren't here. And you can participate through Zoom in conversation and classes and other things. And all of that really matters and is important. The hard part of the conversation is, in order to continue that, and in order to be back here in person or in some facility like this in September on a weekly, rather regular basis, we require your support. Now, those in the room and many of you who are watching online already do that. So I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who don't support us. I'm talking to the ones who gather so much good from watching this. I get calls often from friends and acquaintances on the West Coast saying, we get our good ideas for our talks because you talk 3 hours before we do, and we get to add and tweak things at the last minute. I'm like, okay, then send me some money. No apologies there. Prosperity is about circulation. We can't pay the bills here on good thoughts. You pay the bills on cash. Well, we don't use cash much, but we pay the bills through electronics. Money used to be things like shells and beads and hard, big thing. Carry a big pile of shells with you if you had a lot of money. But now it's simply an electronic blip. It's zeros and dashes is what our money really is, and an agreed upon value. So I'm not saying to just throw away your zeros and dashes, but I'm saying if you find good value here, please give some back, because it will guarantee that we keep being here. It will guarantee that we can keep doing this, paying the bills, etc. What, am I hearing noises? Okay, hi, Robert. Robert Brzezinski is the head of the New Thought Radio Network and is helping us produce and manage all of this online for those of you out there. So support them, but support us too. Have I said enough? Have I driven that in the ground? I want you to get that. It's really an important piece to know that we cannot continue to do what we're doing at the rate of giving that we're receiving. Now, we will continue to be the Center for Spiritual Living, and it may take a Midtown. It may take a whole different shape and form. I'm not stopping. I've gotten rejuvenated. I've been in a rehab program that's got my body moving again, and I'm grateful for that. I'm not stopping. But if you want us to continue here in person, if you want us to have the opportunities to keep broadcasting, we need your help to do that. Now, it's bad form. They teach us in ministerial school to say things like this if you're a New Thought church. We're only supposed to be positive. We are prosperous. We are prosperous. No question about it. We just taught some classes on prosperity where all of us who participated had some increase in our prosperity. That's what we're about. We're not about just trying to get money out of you. We are about teaching prosperity as a spiritual practice and a way of life that allows your increase to grow and flow with ease and freedom. We're here for you. And in being here for you, we're here for us, because we are you. It goes around and around. We've been through a hard time the last 3 years. 3 years ago, we had just turned, I'd been there a little over a year and a couple of months, and we had just turned this boat. We had just had a amazing community meeting or two where we had set out some visions, some goals, some ideas of who we are and who we'll be. We were meeting in a very lovely place downtown at the Academy, and people loved that spot. I did too. It was wonderful. And then COVID, March, everything exploded. We all had to stay home. But you know what? We were ahead of the ball from many CSL centers because we were already teaching classes online. So we knew how to do this online thing. Didn't miss a Sunday. We went right from meeting in person to meeting online through Zoom and other things. And over this great, people call it all kinds of things. I think of it as a great pause, as a pause in busyness in the world. It was the only time I've ever seen it quiet on North Druid Hills Road on a Sunday morning. Holy Moses. I could get to the grocery store and back in 10 minutes instead of an hour. It was fabulous, that part. But this great pause, which caused us to have time to go within, have time to do our own inner work, have time to discover what really matters to us. How many stories have you heard of people who during COVID stopped doing what they'd been doing and went off and did something else? Back to the earth, farming, and all kinds of interesting, different changes. Well, now we're coming out of that. The CDC just declared it's not a problem anymore. But we're still dealing with what's left over. Kind of like, you're all grown up and you're an adult and you're living your way, yet your mama still talks to you in the back of your head. Where those events from childhood still impact your present. Well, the event of that whole intense pandemic, still talking to us back there. I went to a concert Friday night, beautiful, wonderful music concert. Weren't very many people there. Haven't had many people in person there since COVID. We've all gotten used to sitting at home watching TV, or we've gotten used to not being out. And I have to admit, I didn't sit close to anyone else except the person I came with, because I want to make sure. And I thought, I don't have to do that anymore. That's ridiculous. Some people, I'm not faulting anybody for how they're choosing to handle this. But coming back in person means we get to be back out here if we want to. Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown can do that if we want to. But we cannot do it without the support, the financial and otherwise, to bring this together. We not only need money, we need talent. We need somebody to help me do the website. It's a scary thing watching me trying to update the website. You don't want to see that too much. But I'm going to do it until we find somebody else who can help. The same thing is true with our social media. I'm doing that too. And I've chosen to take a reduced salary this month and even more reduced next month, because this center matters to me, because I want us to be here. And I'm looking forward to when our mattering makes sense to more people and the value of what we're doing here gets through and we begin to grow again. We begin to grow on the outside. We're growing on the inside. The growth within our membership and our people here has been very powerful. But it's time now for the growth to begin to happen on the outside. So we're doing a reset. We're going back to once a month in person, and the other weeks is going to be online. Please join us, support us, and please help us take this to the next level, to churn and turn this internal growth that's happened into external expression and external growth as a center. It's really important and necessary. Today, right after this, we're having food, and then we're having our business meeting, annual membership business meeting. Tune into that, if you will, if you're interested at all in us and this center as a group. You can do it on Zoom. It's really easy. Go to the website, get the number, or I can tell you right now off the top of my head. Join the meeting, 404-996-1302. It's the same number we use for everything. It's the only way I can remember it. It's a good thing. Join us. Come hear where we are and how we're doing and what the directions are that we are coming to. Because you matter. CSL Midtown matters. We're all wonderful. This is all about good. It's just shifting form, perhaps. And I'm wide open to understanding what that new form needs to be, and I'm supporting all of us in finding that for this amazing, wonderful, loving community. Because you're wonderful, so am I, so it is. Thank you. Thank you. And now Vance is going to come talk some more about that taboo, wonderful topic
prosperity.
Of prosperity. It is not taboo. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Bob.
Yes.
What an awesome talk. There's all kinds of stuff going on, and we have interesting technical challenge this morning. We'll figure out what that is, but it broadcast and it sounded okay. The way to give online is go to cslmidtown.org/donate or click on the QR code that should show up on the screen in a minute. There it is. There you go. So click the QR code. It will take you directly to the donation site to donate, and you can set up, you can do a one-time donation, or you can set up ongoing regular donations. However that works for you, if you're supporting us, we'd love that. So if you will, say with me our affirmation for prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. I'm going to say for everybody on Zoom, hang on. We're going to switch things over. We're going to get food here in the room, and then we're going to do that. And then I will bring Dr. Bob up here for our affirmation of life and anything else he wants to talk about.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Whoops. We have a break in our tradition. Come up here and talk.
Lynn, please join us. Lynn, please
All
join us.
right. Yes.
Guys, we are just thrilled to be celebrating 5 years of anniversary with Dr. Bob. And on behalf of the board, the practitioners, the congregants here, we are presenting you with a gift that says we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you. Yes.
Cool.
Do I dare
Thank you. All right.
look? Oh, cool. Money. Keep it coming. All right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's close then with our affirmation of life. At least we're closing this part of our day and shifted to the next. And I'll read it and you share with me if you like. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding. I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me, and so it is. And if you don't know that you have within you everything you need, call a practitioner. We can help. Thanks. Bye-bye. See you next time. And we're out. Woohoo! Thank you all.